big? I am sorry. What the actual hell? That is your freaking brother. Ew! Hello, beautiful people. Today's story is from r/AITAH, and it is quite something. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Am I the a-hole for calling my sister-in-law gross? Me, 29F, and my husband, 30M, have been married for a little over 3 months. My sister-in-law, 28 female, has always been supportive of our relationship until he proposed. Ever since then, she has been making comments about how I don't fit their family or how he deserves more than that. I always shrug it off, even though their family adores me, and my husband always asked her to stop. A little backstory. Me and my sister-in-law used to be best friends till 8th grade, before I moved and we lost touch eventually. My husband was adopted by her parents when she was 7 or 8, so they grew up pretty close. I used to see him in passing, just little hi and bye, but that's all. But after I started college, I saw him again and we decided to talk. Eventually fell in love and dated, now married. She was thrilled when we started dating. Back to the incident. Last month at a family gathering, she kept making passive-aggressive comments. My husband was on the edge the whole time, and when she finally said that she thinks she looks like a whore with how she dresses, he snapped and they had an argument. Both of us left after that. After this incident, her best friend reached out all of a sudden and sent us some screenshots of their texts where she had told her the same things. Some of them stood out to me. Those are, "He's so handsome and sexy. Why would he settle for a nerd like her? Do you think he's big? He's so my type. I don't get why there's no one available just like him. And he is the best man alive. Why could he not marry someone like me?" I am sorry. What the actual hell? That is your freaking brother. Ew! When I showed those texts to my husband, he tried to say maybe she's being protective. But he was weirded out about those comments too and couldn't really say anything about the big comment. We decided we'd talk to her in person, but whenever we tried to talk to her, she'd either shrug it off or cancel plans. So we chose the hard way and decided to bring it up on our next family dinner. Last week, we showed her the texts and asked her to explain it. It went almost like a back and forth of, "I'm just trying to save you trouble. You deserve better." And I finally snapped and said, "You're so gross for even talking about your brother like that, no matter what your intentions were." And my husband said, "I was disgusted if those were said the way I think they were." At this, she lost it and started sobbing, accusing me of turning my husband against her. My husband took my side and we left the dinner soon after. Both his parents and relatives have been telling us, we overreacted. We are a-holes for twisting her words. I never thought of things like that. But ever since that text, my husband and I did note it that she never really dated or stayed in any long-term relationships. Most of them were flings, and every single one of them were eerily similar to my husband. We used to think she just had a type, but it feels completely different now. Even as a teenager, she used to make him cancel his dates, saying how she needed her due to her mental health. But she always refused therapy when offered, but my husband always been the protective older brother. She even tried to get into the same college as him. When he left saying she can just live with him, he lived in a studio apartment, but she couldn't get in the college. Then we started dating, and she did sometimes crash our dates or have sudden emergencies whenever we had plans. I'm sorry if I messed up in the writing, it's my first time. I just need some opinion and someone to tell me I'm not crazy or overthinking. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. It kind of feels like her family forgot to tell her that that's her brother. I know someone could argue that they are not really related, but gross. Here is what someone else said. She is totally obsessed and in love with your husband. The texts couldn't be any clearer, and his parents think you're twisting her words. What do they think she means by "he's so sexy" and "do you think he's big"? They are dense. You both need to cut contact with her because she is all kinds of fucked up in the head. I could not agree more. This is completely sick. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's get into our second family drama of today. Am I the a-hole for planning to rob my sister? My sister, 27F, and I, 25F, live at home with our parents. I moved home last year after flatting for 5 years due to a nightmare flatmate situation. I lost all my savings covering their rent for 6 months. I was reluctant to move home as the living situation isn't ideal there either. My older sister has had a long history of theft and lying that has not only impacted her, but the family also. Some examples. Stole my parents' credit card and spent $1,000 on clothes when she was 14. Scammed 8 people by selling them all the same ticket a few years ago. I was receiving death threats over it, and when I told her this, she still insisted she didn't know why this was happening and that she bought it off a random guy, so it must have been him, only to find out she was lying. She only just admitted the other day that it was her, in fact, that stole $50 from my mom's bedroom. For the past 8 years, she has sworn it was her best friend, and they have since lost their friendship. She has since stolen money from my mom's room and been caught multiple times, but still, never admitted that one time where she blamed her friend. Anyway, the recent struggle is that she has been a coke and ket addict. She has been to rehab this year, but came home and picked everything up again. She has been stealing money from my parents and her boyfriend. She sold our late grandfather's priceless antique ring that was gifted to her to score. She spent $10,000 on coke in 1 month and took out all her money from her savings scheme. You pull this out either to buy your first home or for retirement. So I have this secret cash savings in my closet which I only take out for emergencies or travel. I had $650 in there which I was planning to take with me on my trip, which is just over a month away. I check it intermittently to make sure it hasn't been touched, but no one knows about it, and I last checked about 3 weeks ago. Girl, that's what banks are for. I go to put more money in and check yesterday, and all the cash is completely gone, just some coins left. I confront her immediately, and she swears she didn't take it or even know about it. But I always find her snooping in my room. Just the other day, I woke up to her eating a chocolate bar that was given as a thank you gift from my colleague. She claimed she only ate 1 piece and blamed my mom for finishing the rest, which was a lie. No one has been over to the house in the past few weeks apart from my boyfriend, who can't even get upstairs to my room as he's in a wheelchair, and my sister's boyfriend, who I can't imagine would steal from me as he's got a good job struggling himself with my sister's situation. I know it's her. She's always been such a profuse liar, as mentioned in the examples above. She will throw anyone under the bus to protect herself, even over something as stupid as a chocolate bar. My parents have promised me they will try get the truth out of her, but they are already showing signs that they are believing her. Even though she has stolen and lied from them consistently, they are wrapped around her finger and still believe she is an honest person deep down. I believe if she did it, she would eventually admit it to me. But I have a time frame. I had been saving that money for a while to take with me on my trip. I leave on Boxing Day. I think if she's not going to sack up and be honest with me before my trip, remember, she took 8 years to admit she let her best friend take the fall. Over $50, I will try get my money back by my own means. I want to try take whatever I can from her to try match the $650. Just go into her room when she's out and try find bits here and there to sell. But despite everything she has done, I still feel like a bad person to think like this. Am I the a-hole, or would you do the same in my situation? Edit. I still love my sister dearly and want her to have success and happiness in life. I do want to do everything I can to help her, which is why this feels so wrong. She still has some lovable aspects about her, but she is her own worst enemy. Okay, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I honestly don't care if you're related or not. Like, she keeps on stealing from everyone around you, and we are going to excuse her behavior just because we happen to be related? Nuh-uh. Let's see what the comments say. This one reads, if she has anything worth selling, she would have already sold it. Lesson, get a bank account. Cash is easy to steal. Not the a-hole for being upset, but you're dreaming if you think you'll ever see that money again. It's gone. Yeah, straight up. I could not agree more. Well, that's a wrap. If you like today's stories, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.